Alright everybody, I am doing Carousel 2.1, number 1, question 1, and I'm going to show you how I do it. It says a shipment was expected today. The company estimated 3,000 items would be in the shipment. Which of the following could be the actual amount of items shipped? So the first thing that I would do is that I noticed that the company had an estimate about 3,000 items. So when I'm looking at this, when I go to my notebook, what I'm doing is that I am copying down exactly what it says. I'm writing 3,000 because that was the estimated amount. And when I look at this 3,000, I also write down the answers that are provided. So A is 2,387. Sorry about that. And B is 2,738. And then I have C as a choice, which was 2,078. And then I have D, which is 2,495. Now it says which one of these numbers would be an estimate to this 3,000. When I look at this 3,000, I say to myself, well, if I use my base 10 chart, I tell you, this base 10 chart always comes back to us. So when I'm using this base 10 chart, I'm saying, how will I know what one of these numbers, when rounded, could get to this 3,000? So what is it that I'm rounding? Am I rounding my ones place? Am I rounding my tens place? Am I rounding my hundreds place? Or am I rounding the thousands place? When I look at these 3 zeros here, I think about the base 10 chart, and I know that 3 zeros represents the thousands. And because those 3 zeros represent the thousands, that makes me think, okay, well then I must be rounding to my thousands, to the thousands place. So then from here, what I do is that I underline the thousand place in each of these numbers. When I underline each of these thousands place, I know when I'm rounding, I need to look to the right to the next door. You remember, you look right to the next door. If it's 5 and under, you let it rest. If it's 5 or more, then you add one more. So when I'm looking at these numbers and I look at A to see what would be the estimated to go to 3,000, because I already said that the 3 zeros represent that base 10 chart. Those 3 zeros equals the thousands, so it made me look to my thousands place. So when I'm looking at A, I see that there is a 3. I look to my right, I put my arrow that there's a 3. So because it's 5 and under, and the 3 is under 5, it's less. So then if I round this number, it would be 2,000. So that's not going to work. So then I look at number 2, which is B. And I look at this one, and when I look over to the right, it's 5 or more. So 5 or more means to add one more. So when I add one more to the 2, then this is 3,000 when you round it to the nearest thousand. But just to make sure, I looked up to C. And I look at C and I said, well, this is going to stay the same because it's 5 and under. And when I look at D, the 4 is 5 and under. And so this is going to stay the same. So B would be my best answer. So when you're doing a question like this, the best thing is to look at what are you estimating to? How many spaces? What are they asking for? And because they're asking for this, excuse me, because they're asking for this and I see those 3 zeros and what they represent in my base 10 chart, I put it all together and I say, okay, well, they're definitely asking me rounding to the thousands place. And this is how we get this answer for number 1 in our carousel.